another one right there. That's a red.
Hey, this is Tony with Salt Strong, and in this video I wanted to share a few tips that will help you out in locating fish when you try to go fish a new location or a new spot. Now that's a big mistake a lot of anglers make, is they fish the same spots over and over again and beat those spots up. But the fish are constantly on the move, especially if the seasons change, if the weather patterns change, and it's just nice to go out to a new location and catch fish in a new location because it helps build your confidence and you'll start venturing out more and just become a more well-rounded angler. So I went on a recent trip to a completely new area. Conditions were very tough. You know, the water was very murky, the winds were very strong, anywhere from 15 to 20 miles an hour. Also, this was just after a cold front had passed through and it dropped the water temperatures quite a bit. And the bait activity was few and far between there. But when you do get out there on the water in a new spot, you definitely want to do your pre-planning, but on the water assessment is very critical because that will help you determine where the most activity is and where the fish are at. So let's go ahead and walk through this on the water footage, and I'm going to share some tips with you to help you locate fish in a new spot. So the first key when looking for fish in a new area is activity, whether it be bait activity, fish moving around, you know, the actual fish you're going after, splashing, and also birds. So the first sign that I saw was big mullet boiling up on the surface. They weren't on the surface, they were sitting on the bottom, which means the water was pretty cold because those mullet will sit down in that muddy bottom to stay warm. So, you know, the predator fish will do the same thing. And also, those bigger mullet, as they're boiling up the water, they're boiling up the bottom, they are spooking up food items for those redfish. So definitely make a point to make some casts if you start seeing a lot of big mullet in an area.
There we go. Alabama leprechaun, jerk shad. It's right off the edge of the grass there. Awesome colors on these fish. Alabama leprechaun, jerk shad. I'm using the jerk shad for two reasons really. I'm seeing a lot of shrimp jumping around in here, and also with the water being a little colder, you know, this gives a nice slower presentation. Just a quick twitch, pause, retrieve. Let's cast it out, let it sink, bounce it a couple times, let it sink, just continue that.
Now this next fish that I caught here, this was another redfish, and you're going to notice and actually see more bait activity on the surface here. As you just saw right there, some shrimp and mullet scattered. So I was really just waiting for the right moment to make a cast. Usually as soon as you see that jump or that splash, I will toss a bait right in that location because of all the commotion. You won't really spook the fish, and if they see your bait falling and darting around, they'll usually go after it.
There's a fish there.
So as you saw, the bait was pretty finicky up at the surface because there were predator fish around and they were busting on the bait, as you saw there, and caught a red not too far from where that other red just hit some bait. So as you can see, it really comes down to activity, whether it be bait activity, the activity from the actual fish themselves, or even birds. You know, if you see birds wading around, that's a good indication that there could be fish around, especially in the cooler months, because, you know, bait fish aren't as abundant. There's most likely going to be shrimp, you know, jumping around, schooled up, and that's easy food for those wading birds. So if you see birds in the water looking for food, I would highly suggest going to those areas. If you see birds just flying around, That's also a good sign, but if you see birds actively feeding, that's an even better sign. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and also I hope the tips that I shared can help you out if you are going to a new location and trying to dial in where the fish are at. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. Till next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. If you are new to Salt Strong, we are the largest online fishing club for saltwater anglers, and we guarantee you two things. Number one, you'll start catching more fish in less time. And number two, you will save a ton of money on your favorite tackle and gear with discounts available exclusively for our members. To learn more, go to saltstrong.com and we'll see you there.
There's something about the water that'll give you peace, all by yourself or with your family. Live Salt Strong and wear the line today.